Hi, I'm Jennifer of Celtic Knot Crochet, and in this video I'm going to show you the supplies you need to make the fun Plarn ball. It is a free pattern that you'll find at CelticKnotCrochet.com, and I'll show you also how to create this different type of yarn called Plarn. It's yarn strips of plastic that you can crochet with. To crochet this project, you'll need about 10 plastic bags that you turn into Plarn. I have a video right here that shows you how to take an ordinary grocery store bag and make it into Plarn. You'll see in that video my daughters and I making this project as well. So you might choose to use that. I chose these two to show you today. But an alternative is, if you would like to make a brightly colored ball like this, you can recycle used plastic tablecloths. You use them at a party and often throw them away, but I suggest use them at your party, then rinse them off outside with a hose or wipe them down, let them dry, and then cut them into strips so that you can crochet projects with them. I'll show you how to do that in a minute, but first, in addition to the type of yarn you're going to use this nice hook by Clover. It's an N or a P hook. Some companies refer to it as both, as you can see right here. And the most important part you need to know, it's a 10 millimeter. And that works very nicely, and this particular hook is perfect for crocheting with Plarn. Other hooks might make it very difficult. This one glides through easily and works nicely. You'll also need some nice scissors for cutting up your plastic bags or the tablecloths, and then a safety pin or some other kind of stitch marker, because we'll be working in rounds and we want to keep track of where each round is. This project only has 11 rounds, so it works up fast. This is all the Plarn that I've made from plastic tablecloths, and I'm going to show you right now how to do that. So you just take the actual tablecloth and fold it in half long ways, so it's a long skinny rectangle, and then the two open ends I use packing tape to join together. And you'll see I'm demonstrating with a small scale model. And then when you actually use the big piece, here's the taped end, and I just fold it over on my work surface, just as I would the other plastic bags. Fold it over again, and then I cut it in about 2-inch or 1.5-inch strips, just as I did with the plastic bags. And then you'll see that you have two pieces, well, several pieces, several loops that are now rather large, and you link them together as we did before. So I found by taping the tablecloth together, you could make the Plarn very quickly this way, instead of trying to cut it and have it be a single layer, which is actually very easy to rip or to tear. So by doing this, you have a double strand of the plastic as you crochet with it. To start the fun Plarn ball, you'll need to make a slip knot with the Plarn, just like you would with regular yarn, and then insert your hook into the knot, the loop. You're going to chain 2, then you're going to work 6 single crochets in that first chain you made. So we skip this one and we're going to do 6 in there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, do that 5 more times, and that will create a circle because we're putting so many stitches in that one stitch. They have nowhere to go but out. So you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I don't want to lose where the beginning is. So after I work into this first stitch, I am going to put a stitch marker or a safety pin in the very first stitch of each round so I keep track of where I am in the pattern. So round 2, I'm going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So there's my first one, and before I move on, because sometimes you'll be surprised, you go fast and then you can't remember where you started. So now I know that that's the first one, and I have to do another single crochet in that same stitch there. And I'm going to do 2 in each stitch all the way around for a total of 12. And there you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm back here at that first stitch that I marked with the safety pin. Now the next row, I'm going to do 2 in the first stitch, but only 1 in the next one. Then 2, then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way around. And that'll give me 18 stitches total. So I remove the pin, put my hook in to that first stitch, and there's my first single crochet and my second. And before I move on, I'm going to mark that first single crochet. And now I continue 1 single crochet in the next one. Now you can see sometimes your Plarn is uneven, sometimes it breaks. It's really no big deal. You just tuck it in, and all these things will be hidden inside the ball and just add to the stuffing. So I continue with my pattern. 2 single crochets in the next one, and then single crochet once in the one after that. So I'm going to continue with 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 all the way around to the beginning. Next, after I've completed the third round, I'm going to do the same thing. Take out my stitch marker. I'm going to work 2 single crochets in that first stitch again. That's an increase. This is what helps expand the circle into a bigger size. After I do 2 in that one, then now I'm going to do 1 in each of the next 2 stitches. So now I have 2 in 1, then 1 in 1, 1 in 1. 2 in 1, 1 in 1, 1 in 1. And I'll continue like that all the way around. Oh, but of course, see, we get to going and we miss. So here's my first one. Don't want to forget to mark that first stitch. Trust me, you'll think you'll remember, and then they all end up looking the same. So that was my first, and I did 2 in the first one, then 1 in 1, 1 in 1. Now I'm ready to do the pattern again. 2 in the first one here, and then 1 in one, and 1 in one. There's a big thick part. Don't worry about it. Just pull it on through. It's a great hook for this stuff. Now for the next 3 rows, I'm going to just do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around for 3 rounds. So I still want to keep track of that first stitch so I know when I'm completed 3. So 1 single crochet right there, and now I'm going to go back and mark it with a pin. Then I'm going to continue the rest of the way all the way around this round, doing 1 stitch in 1 stitch. Here you can see I've gone all the way around with the 5th round, and I'm stopping right at the last stitch, because if you want to make a ball like this, where you have 1 stripe down the middle, then you'll want to change colors right here after round 5. How you do that is you go to do your last stitch of the round, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and then instead of using the current color to finish the single crochet, you grab the new color. And I yarn over with the new color, and now it finishes that single crochet in the old color. You can pull the loop to snug it up, and now you can see I have the new color on my hook. I'm going to remove the stitch marker and then continue as before with a single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And you can do this with any round. You can use that method to change the colors. As you can see on this one, my daughter made this one and she changed colors almost every round. And then here another daughter made this one. You can see she just put the stripe down the middle. Now this one right here, my other daughter made, and she just used all 3 colors together at the same time, but it gives a really neat look. So she didn't change colors halfway through, she just used 3 strands of the tablecloth Plarn. So this now is round 6, and I continue all the way around with this color. Now I'm going to stop at the last stitch again and change back in the same way. So put my hook in, pull the current color through, and then to finish the last stitch, I'm going to find the first color, yarn over with that color, and now I'm back using the blue. And I will do another round of single crochet in each stitch. Now that I'm back to the beginning, I'm going to mark my first stitch, but first I'm doing round 7, which starts with a decrease. So this is one way to make a decrease so it doesn't look as obvious in your finished project. Normally I would put my hook under both loops, but to do this different decrease, I'm going to put my hook through the first loop of that stitch and the first loop of the next stitch, and then yarn over and pull through both of those stitches like that, then yarn over and pull through 2. And now I've decreased and I don't have this big gap there. Then I would do a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And before I go too much farther, I want to mark that first stitch, which is right here. So I remember that's where my round is beginning. Do that again. Put my hook in the front loop of one stitch and the front loop of the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through both of those loops. Now I have 2 loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull through those 2. And I just did another decrease. Then I'm going to single crochet in the next 2. And I'll continue like that all the way around. Now that I'm completing round 7, you can see it really starting to shape like a ball and now a bowl. And this side is just going to get smaller and smaller. I'm not going to change colors again, so I can cut this different color so it's not in my way. And for round 8, I remove the stitch marker and I'm going to do the same thing again. Put my hook into the front 2 loops, pull my yarn through, yarn over, pull through, then single crochet in the next one, single crochet in the next one. And I will mark, go back and mark that first stitch so I know where the round begins. I'm ready to stuff the ball because soon the hole's going to get too small to put anything in. So I have all these bottoms of the bag and handles that I've saved. Like that. You can see, and by using the same color as the ball, it really fills in some of those gaps that the stitches created, and you don't notice gaps or any miscellaneous odds and ends. And as I finish, I'll probably add a little bit more so it's nice and tightly packed. But I've got the bulk of it stuffed now. So now I just have 2 more rounds. I think I was mistaken that this was round 8. We actually just finished round 9. Now I'm going to do a decrease again using the front loop, yarn over, pull through both of them, yarn over, pull through 2, bring my stitch marker back, and now I'm only going to do 1 single crochet after the decrease. So the decreases are closer together now. One decrease, 1 single crochet. And I will continue that around. Now I have 1 more round to go, and there's a little bit of room for some more stuffing. I'll just put some more in like that. Looks like I could use some even more. Now that I like how well it's stuffed, feels nice and solid for plastic bags. Take my stitch marker out, and now I'm going to single crochet 2 together, do the decrease again, all the way around until there is no longer an opening. So in every 2 stitches, I join them together. Depending on how thick your yarn is, how tight your stitches are. I just did 3, and now I can see it's all closed up. So I'll cut the end off. Put the hook back in, yarn over, and pull that end through. And then you can use your hook to pull the end down in. You could use a large-eyed yarn needle to secure it if you want. And depending on how much of the stuffing you put in there will give your ball some shape. And there you go. Your fun Plarn ball is complete. Hope you had fun making this project. Send us a picture at celticknotcrochet@gmail.com. And remember, give us a thumbs up and make sure you click to subscribe. Happy crocheting!